Good afternoon and welcome to Blindformers. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today I'm going to be teaching you how to transform Transformers Legacy Skullgrinn from his robot mode to his vehicle mode. Skullgrinn's a very fun transformer, and I really wish I hadn't been sleeping on him for so long. I think he's a great addition to the collection. I just wish he had some caster wheels. Anyway, today we're going to be doing this, and if you're wondering what you found here, this is Blind_Prime, where I raise awareness for the blind and the visually impaired through alternative means and methods. This including, but not limited to, Legos and Transformers and G.I. Joe. I also tell some stories and talk about equipment that blind people should wear to help protect themselves and stuff like that. I'm joined by my cat Cream. He's sleeping over here, as a true orange cat should, who's a spotted orange tabby that enjoys his naps. Yes, he enjoys sleeping in the sun and eating for fun. Now, before I really get into this, I also wanted to mention to you something. I'm an avid reader. I listen to a lot of books. Before I lost my vision, I read a lot of books. I was that 10 year I was that fifth grader in class, reading The Stand by Stephen King. People always told me growing up, I read a lot. Anyway, I'm not very often surprised by a book series. These days, if I pick up a book written by an American author, chances are I've read a very similar story in the past, and they're just rehashing something that's been done and overdone 1,001 times. That's why I'm recommending the Project Stellar series by Joseph Prokofiev. I think I said that right. No, Roman Prokofiev, not Joseph. Roman Prokofiev, and I hope I'm saying Prokofiev right. Anyway, he's an amazing author. This is a fun book series. It's by a European author. It's translated into English by some translators I'm blanking on the name of right now. I think it's Whitehouse maybe. Anyway, the series is a lit RPG, which means literature RPG role playing game. It basically somebody took an entire role playing game and they narrated it for your benefit. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun series to listen to, and so far I think I just got book 6 or book 5, Leggett. Leggett's a fun book, and I just wanted to recommend that to you. It surprised me, and I hope it surprises you as well. Good series, very fun listen. I'm on my second listen through because I just got Leggett, which is the newest book in the series. And why do you keep moving your ear? Stop twitching your ear on my arm. Okay, so that being said, I almost cracked my zapper and stopped the video. Let's get into how to transform Skullgrinn here. And I also wanted to mention something about his backpack here. His backpack for Skullgrinn are these two guns. That's why I call him Tarn Light, because he's got the same backpack as Tarn almost. You can take these two guns and you can fold them. Let's see if we unlock it. Come on. Oh, he got jammed. He got jammed. Okay, there it goes. All right, so what you're going to do here, and if I don't destroy everything trying to do it, is plug that back in and then fold this up forwards. There it goes. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take, and I call this his war mode. So we'll put that gun back into place that fell. Now, what we do here is we take his chest piece in the front, fold his head up just a bit, grab that chest piece. Come on, chest piece. There it goes. Fold that chest piece forward, and then we're going to rotate his head into it. All right? Yeah. I'm just going to push his head down. There it goes. Push his head down into that piece there, and we're going to push it down slightly so that it kind of sticks out. He's now got like a little armored chest piece, and then those guns are going to fold up on that little hinge that's attached to his backpack, and he's going to have two giant guns sitting above his head. I call this his war mode. Yeah, it doesn't have anything snapping it into place, but it is still pretty good. It's a stable little mode, but I wanted to bring that up. Yeah, it's war mode, where he just unleashes all the weapons and protects most of his face while he's doing it. Okay, so let's get him back into regular mode. Let's go ahead and remove the accessories from him and make sure that head is folded in. There it goes. Okay, let's take off the gun from his right hand and the gun from, or the sword from his left. His sword and his gun are the same thing. Now let's start the transformation, and it isn't a complicated transformation, but it requires a few steps, and it's kind of fun in my opinion. Go ahead and fold the hands into the underside of the forearm, that negative zone in the forearm. The hands just fold in. Now that you've done that, you can then we're going to take and you know how we just did that fun part for horror mode where we folded the chest open? We're going to do that again. So fold the front of his chest open all the way. It's going to fold down. We're going to close up his horns on either side of his head so that it makes this like crisscross at his forehead. And then we're going to come over here to his back. And the best way to unentangle it is to push on each of the shoulders, push them towards his back, and that's going to unencumber some hinges and allow for this entire assembly, his back and his shoulders, to fold forwards, just like, you know, he's bending his head down as far as it can go, and it goes into his chest piece that's we folded out, and then we're going to fold that back in. Next step is we're going to take his arms here, and we're going to make sure that we've taken his head, and come on, head, don't play any silly buggers with me. All right, so we're going to take this arms and we're going to fold them into the core area on either side of his head. His head will give you some problems here because it is a big, bulky thing. This head doesn't like doing much of anything whenever it's stored away. It is a little annoying how big it is, but at the same time, it's an awesome head sculpt, so I do love it. So let's go ahead and rotate the arms. You know, once you've folded the shoulders into that zone above the head, we're going to rotate the forearms so that the fists face downwards. And this will allow for these little pegs on either side of the arm, little rectangular pegs, to be facing each other, just on the end of the forearm. And this will also bring out a little rectangular slit on the exterior of the forearm facing outwards of the vehicle that will come up later in transformation. So go ahead and combine these two ports together in the forearm area. Sometimes they don't like to do it. These arms definitely aren't the greatest of the team players, but there it goes. Once it snaps together, these arms start playing for, you know, they stop playing. They start playing. Yeah, there it goes. Now, those arms are sturdy, all that's sturdy. Let's come down here to the legs. Now, these legs are fun. This transformation bit is fun. Fold up the back of the leg, which is this tread, and then once you folded up the treads on the back of the leg, fold the treads again. And this part, they're snapped into place at the top, and the joint to fold them is at the bottom, where it would be resting above the heel of the foot. So when you fold it at the knee joint, when you fold these up at the knee joint, then you can unsnap them right around the knee joint area, and then they'll fold out from that hinge that was towards the foot area, and it's this long bar hinge that stretches the entire length of the back of the leg. Now we're going to come over here to this other hinge, fold it up, and then fold it out. There we go. Each hinge is folded up and out. Then you want to fold the feet backwards into that negative zone that was just revealed by unfolding these treads from the backs of the legs. Next step is a step that sometimes I forget to do, and it's honestly a very unique step to do, and I do enjoy it for that. Go ahead and fold the hips forwards. Okay, so hold him steady because he'll want to try and transform, but you want to take, and where this would be the front of his body, you want to push that hip backwards. Okay, and that's just going to add a little extra room to things, but it's also going to squeeze him together a little bit more. Now what we're going to do is we're going to raise up both of these legs. So this little bit of a tough joint there to get these legs to move back into their positions. Ooh, doesn't like moving very much. That is a very, very tough joint there, but very nice to have very tough joints, especially when they're in locations that you don't want moving all that much. I like the fact that the thighs are very stiff because it means, he's not going to fall over at the thighs. Now, next step is, once you're doing this and folding those legs into place, you want to, on the inside of each of these legs here, or what was once the fronts of his legs, there's a rectangular peg on each end, and they snap together kind of naturally for me. But you'll find a peg and a peg hole right next to each other, just like with the forearms, and they're going to snap into place. Then you're going to fold that entire section. We're going to squeeze it forwards till it meshes up with the rest of this tank mode, and there's no gappage. So now we've got those, the little knee spikes should be facing on either side of that little rectangular armor bit that was on his chest. Okay, once these guys are in place, once you're sure they're in place, go ahead and fold these, go ahead and fold down the, make sure there's a place. Go ahead and fold down the treads so that they cover the inside of the arm. Now, if you feel on the end of the tread here, you'll find that there's nice tread sculpt, but there's also a rectangular little peg, a little rectangular bit of plastic sticking out of in there. You'd think it's waffling at first. You're like, oh, it's just a little bit of waffling. No, that's not waffling. That goes into this little slot that we talked about at the forearm when we transform the arms. So we're just going to bring that forwards, squeeze it down, make sure it's as close together as it can get. And this little piece here is a pain sometimes. It doesn't always like to go, but once it gets in there, it's in there. Yeah, that's good and sturdy. Okay, now it's going to go ahead and kick this one around, fold it in a bit, rotate that tread. Be careful when rotating the tread. If you rotate it too much, it's going to snap off from its moorings, and you'll have to snap it back into place. But no worries, it's not pinned in with a metal pin. It's just something you have to unsnap and snap back into place. Now, find that slot, find the rectangular bit, there it is, and then just kind of squeeze that together until that fits into place. Now, go ahead, mesh this all up. This bit on the end, I don't really get. That's why I'm calling him Tarn Light, because this bit on the end is exactly the same as Tarn. I'm like, guys, you could have figured out a way to fold this under the tank mode or something so that we could have had some just armor, and this mode would be a little skinnier, or a little shorter. I think it's too skinny and long, personally, but we'll talk about that on vehicle day. Now, what you want to do is you want to take this little combination piece that the guns connect to. That was his backpack, and you want to make sure you don't put the tongue piece on. We're just going to put it to this bottom one, and it's going to go right there, because this piece is four. It's got four on it. 4 siege ports, and 1 siege port is on that moving tongue, and then the other siege ports on either side. Now fold the tongue down. It's just going to kind of rest there and look nice, and we're going to put that gun. I'm going to put in the other gun on the other side, his giant cannons. Now we're going to take his sword guns here, and we're going to attach them into the barrels of the cannons. There's one, and then there's the other one. Rotate them sideways so that the blade look is facing outwards on either side, and there you have it. Skullgrinn is transformed. It is an amazing transformation, I think, at least. I think it does a lot of fun things. That bit with the hip is very interesting, and it gets me every time. I almost forget about it all the time. That's kind of what I like about a transformer, is a transformation that's got some really fun and unique aspects to it, and this one definitely does. Other than the fact that those treads like to fall off if you're not careful, and that I think they could have done a little more transforming with these the upper leg bits, I will give this guy a straight up 9 out of 10 for his transformation. This is an excellent transformation, and once again, I really regret the fact I've been sleeping on this guy. He's a really good transformer. His robot mode has very few flaws, and this transformation is just superb. This is a nice transformation. It's a fun transformation, and it's one of those transformations where everything snaps together and it feels solid. And I love that whenever it all comes together. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope I helped you learn how to transform Skullgrinn appropriately. And let me know in the comments below if I did something wrong in this video with the transformation. Maybe I missed a step that I didn't realize existed. Sometimes I do that. It took perspective in mentioning about the headlights on the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod before I even realized about the headlights. That was kind of interesting. I thought that made the transformation all that much more interesting. And that's kind of the case with this guy. He's just got those little things. So that's really fun. Me and Cream appreciate you watching today, like, share, and subscribe. And I will tune in. I'll bring out a video tomorrow where we will discuss and review this vehicle mode, talk about its pros and cons. So until next time, bye bye for now.